Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Bangor from and now the headlines as usual.
UN official hails Vietnam's capacity in peacekeeping operations. Vietnam outperforms regional countries in COVID-19 vaccination rate. Điện Biên tourism adapts flexibly to COVID-19.
On December 29th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended a conference reviewing the agricultural sector's performance this year and deployed tasks in 2022.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính told the conference that agriculture, farmers and rural areas have made important contributions in various aspects to stabilizing macroeconomics, ensuring major balances, sustaining growth and boosting economic recovery in 2021 when the economy faces serious COVID-19 induced impacts. Chính praised the sector for overcoming difficulties and flexibly adapting to challenges from natural disasters, diseases, and supply chain disruptions to meet its yearly target. In 2021, the sector saw its added value increasing by 2.9%, forest coverage rate reaching 42.02%, and export turnover hitting $48.6 billion. The Prime Minister also pointed to such shortcomings as development, particularly of marine economy, yet to be on par with potential, among others. Ordering these issues to be thoroughly addressed, Chính agreed with the sector's goals and solutions earmarked for 2022. Accordingly, next year, the sector will strive to achieve the growth rate of 2.8 to 2.9%. The Prime Minister requested the sector to conduct effective COVID-19 prevention and control, mobilize all resources, serving sustainable agricultural development, make a prompt supply, demand and market predictions, develop more national products, and boost production capacity, among others.
United Nations Under-Secretary General for Peace Operations Jean-Pierre Lacroix has highly valued Vietnam's cooperation with the UN in peacekeeping activities since the country joined the operations in 2014, as well as the country's efforts throughout 2021.
In an interview granted to Vietnam News Agency, the UN official hailed Vietnam's provision of level 2 field hospitals to South Sudan. Lacroix stressed this is the kind of capacity that the UN needs its member countries to contribute, as in the more dangerous environment the peacekeepers are working, better protection and medical support is required. The UN Under-Secretary General said that UN is working with Vietnam to deploy an engineering company to the UN Interim Security Force for IBA. He added that this is an area of critical importance, stressing the significance of good engineering to peacekeeping operations. Lacroix said that the UN expects to work more with Vietnam. The UN can see the country's capacity through the deployment of level 2 field hospitals and the upcoming engineering unit.
We expect to work more with Vietnam, which is a country that has capacities and that can really help us, and we can see that again with the hospital, with the way in which we work for the engineering unit. I believe that Vietnam is also doing quite a lot to improve the proportion of women in peacekeeping operations.
The UN needs more specific capacity to better protect peacekeepers, particularly against attacks, along with officers who can collect and analyze information, react quickly and move more quickly to effectively support civilians in conflicts. These are areas of critical need of international peacekeeping operations, which are also potential areas that the UN can work with Vietnam. Lacroix held that next year, one of the priorities of the UN is to continue the efforts that the UN has implemented with UN member states, including Vietnam, in order to improve the effectiveness, the impacts, and the level of protection of peacekeeping operations. He said he believes that in this effort, the UN can count on the cooperation of Vietnam.
Vietnam has made valuable contributions as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. The UK permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Barbara Woodward, said in an interview granted to the Vietnam News Agency.
where we're still
the UK diplomat said 2021 has been a year of big national challenges such as COVID-19, climate change and conflicts in many countries, which resulted in a very heavy agenda for the Security Council.
So in all of these crises, I think we have managed to come together, working very, very closely with Vietnam.
Asked about the role of non-permanent members E10, particularly Vietnam, in addressing the issues, the UK diplomat said the Council relies on the E10 as completely full members of the Council. It was said she wanted to pay tribute to Vietnam because the country has worked on issues which are important but often underlying, such as looking at the role of women in peace and security work, protecting civilians who are threatened by conflict, or taking action against mines and landmines. The ambassador went on to say that it has been a pleasure and a privilege to work with Vietnam on the Security Council, adding that the really good news is that Vietnam will continue to work on these important issues in the General Assembly and in many UN committees.
Vietnam's gross domestic product in 2021 is estimated to expand by 2.58% from the previous year as the COVID-19 pandemic has imposed adverse impacts on all fields of the national economy.
Speaking at a press conference announcing socio-economic figures in the fourth quarter and the whole year on December 29, General Director of the General Statistics Office, Nguyễn Thị Hương, said that GDP in the fourth quarter is estimated to increase by 5.22% over the same period last year. She added that the figure was higher than the growth rate of 4.61% of the fourth quarter of 2020, but lower than the average growth rates of the fourth quarters in the 2011-2019 period. The agroforestry fishery sector grew by 3.16%, the industry and construction rose by 5.61%, and the service sector expanded by 5.42% in the fourth quarter. According to the official, along with policies to ensure social security, the consensus of administrations at all levels, sectors and localities, and the consensus support sharing and active participation of people from all walks of life and the business community, Vietnam has achieved encouraging socio-economic development results.
Vietnam became the 53rd country in the world achieving the goal of covering basic doses of COVID-19 vaccine for 70% of its population, according to covidvax.live, a website that updates the vaccination speed worldwide every day.
The website reported that only 63 out of more than 220 countries and territories which have provided data on COVID-19 pandemic prevention and control across the world have achieved this goal. In Asia, Vietnam's vaccination speed and quantity are higher than that of Thailand, Laos, the Philippines, India, and Indonesia. Outside of Asia, Vietnam has been lower than the US vaccine coverage by only 2 grades, but 40 grades higher than Russia. According to statistics from the Vietnamese Ministry of Health, over 146 million doses of vaccines against COVID-19 have been administered to people as of December 27, including over 77 million of first shots and nearly 66.5 million of second jabs. Vietnam has counted 2.8 million people getting the third doses so far.
Vietnamese abroad sent home some $12.5 billion this year, a year-on-year increase of 10%, according to the State Bank of Vietnam.
The bank said about 28% of the remittances were sent through international money transfer companies, 7% by credit institutions, and 2% by post. So Vietnamese living overseas have been also struggling due to impacts of COVID-19. They remain devoted to the homeland. The money they send home is an important source of capital for Vietnam, especially at this time when the country is facing a lot of difficulties due to COVID-19 pandemic.
The Civil Aviation Authority Vietnam has proposed the Ministry of Transport increase the frequency of flights to Japan, the Republic of Korea and Taiwan, China, given the great demand for returning home among overseas Vietnamese.
According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, more than 140,000 overseas Vietnamese people are planning to return to homeland during this Lunar New Year. The authority on December 17 sent official documents to aviation authorities of Japan, the Republic of Korea, Taiwan, China, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. It proposed 4 flights to Vietnam per week for each side, while the flights from Vietnam follow current regulations starting January 1, 2022, and the frequency will be adjusted based on the COVID-19 situation. Meanwhile, as only Vietnam Airlines had been flying to the US and got licensed by both countries' authorities, this carrier can immediately conduct regular flights as scheduled. Apart from the US, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, and Cambodia have agreed with Vietnam's proposal so far.
To promote cultural exchange between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea, the Vietnamese Drama Theatre recently performed the play The Girl and Motorcycle, penned by Lee San, a Korean journalist who has lived and worked in Vietnam in more than 10 years.
The play revolves around a group of young Vietnamese struggling to start a business. Each has a dream and a burning desire. On the path to success, those who struggle with money, failures, temptations, and deception. But the love and chivalry between young people saves them from the mistakes of youth.
The special thing in this play is that young actors from the Vietnam Drama Theatre practice to sing real opera and dance K-pop. Director Lâm Tung used K-pop and V-pop songs that are popular among young people, along with attractive choreography, some opera and familiar English songs. The play features artists from the Vietnam Drama Theatre, such as people artist Viet Thắng and meritorious artist Phu Đôn. In the 2019 version, 2 Korean actors played parts, but this year, due to the pandemic, they could not take part.
With Lee San's involvement in the script, who has a deep understanding of Vietnam, the drama has contributed to cementing the friendships between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea.
With the COVID-19 pandemic still under control, Dien Bien's tourism industry has relaxed pandemic prevention measures to adapt to the new normal. Many historical sites in the province have now reopened to tourists.
The Điện Biên Phủ Historical Victory Museum is one of the top destinations in Điện Biên province. The museum showcases more than 1,000 documents and artifacts from the Điện Biên Phủ campaign, providing an interesting experience for visitors.
I was really touched visiting the museum. As someone from the younger generation, I have only heard about, but not witnessed what happened during the war. I think I should live in a way that is worthy of what our forefathers went through. I've heard a lot about the Điện Biên Phủ campaign, but this is the first time I have set foot here. I think the museum has done a good job in protecting visitors' health.
In order to promote the value of the Điện Biên Phủ battlefield in tourism development, over the years, Điện Biên province has invested in and renewed tourist services.
We have tried to innovate sightseeing so that it is suitable for tourists in the new situations. It may cause some inconvenience, but I think tourists will understand.
With such efforts, Điện Bien's tourism industry is on the right track to welcome back tourists, contributing to local economic recovery.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.